After the walkthrough, we have a conversation, strategic impact discussions, and Q&A if you have some, and call to action. And after that, we're finished. So I anticipate that we're going to be finishing definitely on time, if not slightly before, right? It depends on how much question you would have. But before we do that, let me just first of all go through uh answer this question right away. Because you maybe ask yourself, so why Afrocarb Lite? So I just wanted to give you a little bit of insight so that you understand what we're talking about. So carbon credit is something that's already happening in the continent. And we believe that we can do a lot more because obviously the continent is huge, the potential is vast, and we needed something to get things going. So at the moment, as I'm talking to you, we have about 100 projects that we have across the continent, and then they are in 20 countries. So obviously you have countries like Kenya, Zimbabwe, Uganda. You'll see that, but there's many other countries, obviously. And some people have asked me the question at times. So what is the split in terms of those questions and those projects? Where are they coming from? How are they split? So 27% are renewables energy. So that's what we see. After that, we have cookstove, which is quite big as well. So forestry and land use, they represent 14% of the split, and then 13% of for energy efficiency. This is how those hundreds carbon credit project actually expand at the moment. So how they split in between. And as you know, so carbon credit has been very much in demand, so across the world. So in 2024, the demand has actually dropped by more than 20%. That's what we've seen. But in Africa, it actually grew because there's a lot more interest into Africa carbon credit, as you know, because there's a lot of potential, not just for avoidance, but also for removals, right? So that's why a lot of countries are looking at that. And that's why there's no surprise to see 11%. So the African market is becoming quite important for people. And but as sometimes happen, so platform where we can reliably go and look for projects and engage those projects, they're not that many around the continent. That's why with our colleagues, our partners were there, we thought it's good to put something like that together, right? And the challenge that we see as well now, we know that there has been a lot of bad press around carbon credit for various reasons because a lot of those projects they've involved so local community displacement, which is not good, and also greenwashing. Yeah, so this has not helped the industry. So sellers were complaining about the fact that they did not receive enough money from the proceed that actually coming from the sale of those carbon credits, and that's one of the issue. And buyers as well, they were not sure about the quality of those of this project. And if they're not sure, obviously they won't engage. And if they don't engage, obviously the market actually dropping down a little bit. And if sellers don't big project, these are the kind of issue that we're seeing. And both of them were complaining a lot as well at times about the brokers' greediness because at times between 50-70% of the value of those projects were actually going to brokers, which obviously is not really serving the purpose here. So these are the kind of issue that we wanted to address with Afrocarb Lite. Yeah. So we wanted to build a platform that is fair, transparent, and clearly a marketplace focusing to Africa. We may be expanding that to other regions of the world in the near future, but for the moment, like I said, really getting something focusing in Africa. That is what we wanted to represent. So I know there's few people in the room at the moment. That's absolutely fine. We know that was going to be a private presentation because we're going to be doing a number of those sessions progressively and addressing people concerned. But let me just run a very quick poster for whoever is around. So I'm just going to launch it now. And what I'd like you to do very quickly for me, it's to I'm just gonna launch it. So to respond to that. So Here are the questions. So, what is your role in the carbon market industry? Are you a project owner, developer? Are you a buyer, a service provider, NGO, or others? Please let me know. So, hopefully, you can see the screen at your end. Yeah. So, yes, people are already contributing. Excellent. Thank you very much. So what is your expectation? Are you all here just to discover? That's fine. So partnership. Okay, excellent. We'll like to have a look at that. So I'll leave it another 30 seconds because there are not many of us, right? So we should be able to vote pretty easily and quickly and to see. And this is purely and simply just to serve the discussion that we will have and the presentation that we will do today. Because I say that's a first viewing, and I'm sure you've realized the topic of carbon market, carbon credit, IREX, it's still quite technical for people. So a lot of people they're hearing about that, but they don't really understand what it means. How could they engage? How do they participate? Yeah. So there's a lot of awareness work to be done around it, and this is what we're aiming to do. So I can see around 6 people have participated in the poll. Excellent, that's great. I will stop it at this point, and just because obviously at the beginning we had a little bit of challenge at the beginning, so I don't want to waste too much time. Let me just stop here because I don't see anybody anywhere and anyway voting. So I'm just going to end it and share the result. And what do we see? So we have a couple of people in the room, developers. That's fine. So a couple of service providers, others as well. There's no buyers at the moment as we see. So shows that we need to do more work there because we definitely want them represented. But we know we could see that the expectation for you here is to discover what is all about and explore partnership, but certainly discussions. Yeah, excellent. So it's good. It's good for me to see, and my colleague Rahul as well. So I'm sure he will have a couple of things to say around that. So I'm just going to stop sharing at the moment. Yeah. So and come back to our slide. Thank you very much for responding. I very much appreciate that. And what we would do now, it's to very swiftly and quickly move into the platform, so you could get an idea of what it's all about. But Afrocarb Lite, the reason we call it Afrocarb Lite, as you could already see and hear, this is because other version, the pro version, will be released at the right time. But for the time being, we believe we have something that is functional, that's good to go, and it's a marketplace connecting, sellers but also buyers. And what kind of credit are we supporting here? So different kind of credit, right? So carbon credit for sure, IREX definitely, biodiversity credit, cookstove definitely. That's what we want to do. So we've put in place for the moment as well a very simple, straightforward onboarding process where we have a form that is has to be filled out and for us to list the project and obviously discussing with you to agree a contract and join you if necessary in filling the platform. Yes, and all these projects, we definitely making sure that they are verified projects, or otherwise they will not be display on the platform, and we have a very transparent pricing policy. So let me pause at this stage, and then what I like to do, I'm just gonna pause here. So because I like to invite my colleagues, Rahul, obviously, who will be taking you through the presentation of the platform, and then for you to understand what it's all about. And I just want to say a couple of words about Rahul, I think, because obviously great experience and track record here. 11 years of leadership in global carbon markets, all the way from California to China and India, and he has experience tapping into project origination, carbon credit commercialization, and also climate finance strategy. And he has led, development and monetization of projects across forestry, renewables energy, emerging technologies such as digital MRV, and working across registries, Vera, Gold Standard, and ACR. So that's just some of the few and advise a number of government in America, Asia, and obviously working together with us to look at Africa as well. I'm just gonna pause at this stage, like I say, because if I had to go through his full resume. So we may be here to the rest of the hour. So, Rahul, let me just hand over to you. You may want to say a couple of things, but I'll be grateful if you could certainly take us through your company, but also the platform so that people see what we have on offer in here. Thanks.
Hi, Tony. Yeah, thank you so much, Tony, for introducing me and the company and the Afrocarb portal. Yeah, I do have a presentation. Just allow me to start this. Um, I hope the presentation is now visible to everybody.
Yeah, we can see. Yeah.
Yeah, this is a very quick presentation that I wanted to make to introduce Climate Connect and Afrocarb. Tony's already given a very generous introduction about me. I'm a part of a team called Climate Connect Digital, which is a mix of people with very deep and long expertise in the carbon markets, such as our founder Nitin Tanwar, or our head of community and energy-based project Sandeep, and our head of nature-based solutions, Dr. Mustafa Khan, who've spent nearly 2 decades now in the carbon markets. But then we've got another side to us, which comes from technology. So we build AI-driven IoT blockchain technology, and we've been doing this for the last 15 years or so now, and we've already built two successful businesses and exited them. This is currently on our third business. So if you talk about all the three businesses, these were the three businesses, and here's a lot of logos of all the clients that we've served and are serving through the businesses that we've built. Also, just briefly, I wanted to just show that we've got a lot of experience building projects, getting them to registration and getting them issued around the world, across standards, across project types. Um, for our relevance, for our context, I've highlighted projects that were focused in Africa, and we've got quite a lot of them. Nearly half the projects that we've worked on over the last 15 years has been in Africa, and we continue to do so, which gives us a very good understanding of the ground realities of the projects, what are the challenges they face, both from the project developer side, but also things that the buyer needs to be aware of, what kind of risks they might face investing in Africa. And of course, each region of Africa has its own challenges. So we are happy to, advise on how to procure the best projects or how to build the best projects in Africa. Again, on the digital side of things, you're just quickly going over. We've done a lot of work. Hopefully, some of you might find this interesting. And this is across methodologies. We've built like digital tech so that we don't have to depend on manual labor or manual documents to prove carbon emission reductions. So if you go to the very left, we've used devices like what you can see here out here is a dendrometer, which can take very minutely measurements of tree growth, which made us learn that actually at night the tree shrinks. So you have less carbon in the tree at night. Of course, over the long term, it's a growth pattern, but these are things that we managed to understand through tech. We've flown drones to identify tree species and growth over large areas. Again, just making it a very objective study, not dependent on people, and just removing the human error factor to a very large degree. And all of this we keep, on a registry where each ton of carbon is measured. So out here I have a dashboard that we have for cookstoves in Uganda that we are working on. And as you can see, on the blockchain based, we've got each credit with a QR score. And, this enables us to actually deep dive into each credit and understand, how that credit was calculated and what are the assumptions, what are the proofs to prove that that carbon sequestration or that carbon avoidance has actually occurred. But yeah, enough about us. Let's talk about Afrocarb. So yeah, Afrocarb Lite, Tony's already given a very good, introduction to it. Um, it is a marketplace for all kinds of environmental credits uh, to be hosted for financing and offtakes and open to the global network. It's an online platform. It's very easy to access, and really the idea behind it was, as Tony highlighted, there's a lot of interest in African carbon projects. We see that regularly from the financing side and from the offtake side as well. A lot of it is driven by voluntary action, but also a lot of it is driven by anticipation of Article 6 carbon markets, where a lot of countries in Africa, especially countries like Ghana, have taken the lead in developing the carbon projects for Article 6, which is the Paris Agreement carbon markets, which are global and are linked to various compliance schemes as well, such as Corsia. And in future, there are a lot of other talks to link it to other emission trading schemes too. So, driven by all of that, and with the validation that, there's a specific interest for projects in Africa, and then also understanding that there are a lot of new project developers that are coming into Africa to set up, climate initiatives, who would require financing, would require expertise and support. That's where we started with Afrocarb, and we wanted to build this not as a software, just as a software platform or marketplace, but also as a community of clean initiatives, where it's centered around finance, but also centered around of developing carbon projects and clean energy projects across Africa. So yeah, I mean it's a very simple diagram in front. We take a lot of credits, a lot of environmental credits, but we make sure that these credits are credible and they're verified according to recognized standards. Uh, Wherever possible, we would want CCP, the core carbon principle labels to be followed as well, which includes things like, third-party verifications need to be included, baselines need to be clearly measured, etc. But apart from that, we've got a wide variety of projects at different scales. So we are talking about people buying very small tonnage at a retail level, maybe 10, 15, 100 tons, as well to multi-year deals, which could go into million tons as well. We want to make sure that each of the projects that we have is clearly visible for investment. The details and the project information is gathered at one point, and all the benefits of the project are transparently shown to everybody who's interested in in investing in African carbon markets. On the buy side, this platform looks to connect with corporate buyers, with traders, with financiers, and investors, or even retail users, which can be your mom and pop shops that want to decarbonize. We want to make sure that all your transactions are very transparent. We assist in due diligence in carbon projects. If you want to understand more about the projects that we have on the platform, we are happy to come in, talk to you. We are happy to introduce the project to you, introduce the project developers to you, and just provide for buyers a very diverse portfolio across Africa. Um, Sorry. Yeah. So just briefly before we get into the demo, I want to talk about what Afrocarb Lite does for sellers and developers, and what Afrocarb Lite does for buyers and investors as well. Um, so, like I said, Afrocarb is a common initiative. So we want to put this as a common banner that's promoting climate initiatives in Africa, with participation from everybody, that's working in this space, in this region. We hope the platform will be a key platform in the future, where we can have economies of scale and we can have, synergies between all the participants there, in the ecosystem that are working, to promote all these clean initiatives here. Um, we want to make sure that all the projects here, that you bring to us, we are able to promote your projects. We want to bring it to a global network of buyers and financiers that we have access to. So, as a portfolio, we'd like to promote this, uh, at a project level and at a portfolio level. Um, in terms of, what kind of deals can you expect from this platform? We are very flexible about that. We offer spot deals. If you have spot credits to sell, long-term offtakes, we can help you structure those. Or if you're seeking pre-financing, we can help you advise with that. We've got a lot of experience in all these three kind of deal structures. Uh, you get access to market experts and consultants to help you on a carbon journey, especially if you are like new to the carbon market and you have an idea about a carbon project or you want to understand if one of the projects that you work on is eligible for carbon. So we are happy to come in discuss that with you as well. Yeah, and finally, of course, again, we just want to make sure that there's a community out here, that is working on African carbon projects, and we are promoting this for the African region. For if you're thinking about how do you join, if you're a seller or developer, how do you join Afrocarb? It's very simple. In fact, there's a reason that we call it Afrocarb Lite. You submit a project to Afrocarb Lite. You can email Tony or me with your project details. We'll send you a list of information that we require, and we'll do the review to make sure everything is accurate. There's no red flags, and it meets the standards that are acceptable to the buyers who come to the platform. After that, we list the project on the website with all the details. We do periodic reviews of all the information of the projects that are listed to make sure that it's all accurate and anything that's been promised in the future has been delivered as well. And yeah, once you have a project there, then that should lead to finance and sales, which is also something that we can help you structure and make sure that you get the value for your credits um, at the right time. On Afrocarb Lite for buyers and financiers, which is the other side of the platform, we want to make one trusted hub for accessing quality carbon projects in Africa and make it easy for all buyers and financiers to find projects in Africa that they can invest and work with. Uh, they have flexible purchases where spot credits, spot contracts, and portfolio options can be created. These projects are pre-screened by us, and we provide further options to conduct deeper diligence into these projects. We ensure that all the data and information regarding the project is provided with easy access. And we are happy to facilitate introductions to project owners to build long-term relationships between the project investors and the project developers as well. The process for buyers and financiers to join the marketplace is even simpler. It's a web-based platform where anyone can go and peruse the projects. If there's a project that you're interested in, you can submit your inquiry, and you can request more due diligence on the project. We'll help you understand the project more and discuss and negotiate the prices and structure the transaction with the project developers as well. So that's the whole idea here. I think we can now move on to the project demo.
Yeah, and why Raul is actually getting his laptops ready to share the demo. So I've seen obviously there's a couple of people want to ask questions. Absolutely, that we will open that. So the demo is going to take us about a couple of minutes or so, and after that, just one slide, and we open the Q&A. So yeah, Rahul, yeah, back to you.
Yes, so it's very easy to access Afrocarb. It's a link that Tony has been sharing, and I'm sure he'll share with you again. Once you come to the page, there's no need to register as a buyer or somebody who's perusing the projects. You can look at all the projects that we have. These are more early stage projects, but a portfolio that we are curating and building upon. Um, and these are projects from various registries with various SDGs attached to them, which we've detailed. They have different structures. Some of these are very early stage projects, like these solar projects that you look at, that are here for forward contracts, and then we've got projects that have spot credits that they want to sell as well. So we've got all mix of this, and we are happy to come and discuss any kind of inquiries that you have about these projects. We provide information about each project in the page as well. So if you go in, you can learn about the project. So there is this institutional improved cook stoves project for schools and institutions in Uganda. Um, and then we've pulled off all the available information that we have about the project. It's a Uganda project. This and kind of shows where the project is, the project information on the registry itself, which is gold standard. Although I think there's an error out here, it says TBD, which needs to be sorted. We outline all the SDGs. So these are like benefits beyond carbon that you might be purchasing and which are associated with the project. And there is a long project description, just giving you a brief on what the project is about. But we also have a screening report that we do. So just as an example to show you, and this is usually done on request rather than automatically for all the projects. But what we like to cover in the screening report is, the high level parameters of what the project does, who are the key people who are working on the projects, who like the consultants, the validators, whether it has CCBS labels or not. The sustainability factors, what are the sustainability indicators that they have, the retirement summary and the issuance summary. So to say that, okay, fine, these are the credits that have been issued and these are the credits that are being retired from these projects. If the project has any ratings or certifications, we outline that. We have a retirement timeline showing that how the project has been used by various companies. Media screening, if there's any media, especially negative press around the project, we like to make sure that our buyers are aware of that. We go into what the SDGs are and how the project itself is is claiming this SDGs um, in these projects. And finally, we have very details about the retirement and the beneficiaries of the project. So let's say if you prefer this is the project for you, what you can do is you can submit an inquiry to us. It's a very simple form where you can write your name, your email, your company, and your phone number, where we can contact you. You can put in your purchase inquiry that you're interested in purchasing such and such projects of, that was listed in Afrocarb. Even if there are projects that you have in mind that you don't find in our platform, we'd be happy to come in and discuss this with you separately and help you find the right project for you to invest in. So yes, yeah, it's as simple as that. I think that's the end of my presentation. Happy to take questions.
Excellent. So I think we're probably gonna leave. I had one more slide, but we're gonna leave your screen there because I suspect question would be on that. Oh, okay, okay. You remove it, but that's fine. We can come back to that in a minute. Let me just say, yeah. So, that's one more slide that I had before we can go to the question. So, what we've been looking to do here, as I said, it's to build a platform which is so Africa first focus and regional expertise, because we said that we could see that there is clearly a gaining momentum in terms of the interest for carbon credits from Africa, but there isn't really a platform as such. Or if there is, I think there's not enough awareness about it. That's why we say, okay, we want to plug the gap, and we've decided to partner and work with Climate Connect for that. Definitely tap into the issue of fair revenue, because that's clearly one of the issue that Sarah was we're talking about, the fact that brokers obviously may be consuming a lot of the revenue that is there, and making sure as well that we do something that is equitable for the community point of view. And transparency and trust, that's very much important. And shall we be able to move forward, and hopefully enough of you will respond to this initiative. We can then move on to develop a platform which is even much more sophisticated and with a number of AI features. But for the time being, we wanted to stick to something very simple to at least validate this initial step. So that's it. Let me just stop at this stage, and because I know that a couple of people that had questions, I'm just going to stop it and come back to the screen. And yeah, just open the floor for us to take some questions. So just gonna say we have about 15 minutes, no more to wrap it up, because I think we have a tight deadline for today. But we have a good 10 minutes or so of question that we could take. So I know Terence, you had a question. You wanted to ask some question. I think Clinton as well, who was in the audience. So whoever wants to join, I can unmute you. So let me just unmute Terence now if he's still around. And yeah, Terence is here. I can unmute you. And also I'm gonna unmute as well Clinton.
Thank you very much, Tony.
Yes. So yeah, Terence, please
Thank you.
let's start with your question before we go to Clinton.
Absolutely. It's a pleasure to meet you again finally. It's been a while, so I know we're already in the month of October, but I could almost say Happy New Year. But I promise you I will keep in touch with you now, since I'm seeing this platform. Very interesting opportunity here. However, you and I have had conversations in the past about the
Yeah.
commercial side of carbon credit. I would have liked to have seen more information about that. We know the process can be fine-tuned. We know the process can be very transparent. We know the process will be good. But what we haven't seen in your presentation from Rahul or yourself is the commercial side of it. How much is a carbon credit? And so on and so forth. We've also had conversations in the past about project development for developers is a very big issue. A lot of even grant funding institutions, you probably have to spend an arm and a leg even to get a grant from them. So, a lot of developers, and we've had this conversation, how can this market that you are developing here enable project developers who have a project that will be done access finance upfront? In other words, pre-sell the potential carbon credits they're going to generate from their projects to use to project develop the projects, and then subsequently handle the financing side later on, to balance out so you get your money up front to move the project forward. Can we see some of those opportunities on this platform? Thank you.
Okay, excellent. Rahul, I'll let you carry on. Have a go at that first, and I'll come on the back of it.
All right. Yeah, hello, Terence. Yeah, thank you for pointing that out. In hindsight, I guess it would have been more beneficial for the audience to have more educational slides on how carbon credits and markets work. So that's a note made. I've made a note on that. I'll make sure that the next time we come on this platform, and I'll have all this information. I'd love to share it anytime. been doing this for the last 12 years, and I really like to do this more. But on pointed on the commercial, so actually that's unfortunately, carbon. And one of the challenges with carbon credits is as a commodity, it's a very complicated commodity, and the complexity of this commodity is reflected also in its prices. Which is to say that one carbon credit is not the same as another carbon credit. In fact, these things vary by it varies by mainly by the kind of projects that you're doing. So let me say, there's a cookstove projects in Africa, maybe you get like $5 to $10 per ton. But if you've got a good ARR projects where you're planting trees, those projects fetch a higher price. And rightfully so, because they usually ARR projects cost a lot more than a cookstove project, even though both of them have the same carbon credit for a ton of carbon.
Yeah, so what sort of information would you need from a project developer to enable them access pre-development funding finance? Because,
Yeah.
for example, Tony knows that we build power plants, we build solar, floating solar power plants in Africa. And so at what point what sort of information would you require to be successful in securing finance?
Yeah, yes. Actually, there's a long list. We usually have for each kind of project, there's a long list, which goes into everything from ownership, rights to carbon credits, into the project design, into project finances. And so, I mean, again, apologies to everybody because now I'm kind of realizing that these are some of the things that I should have added probably. But hopefully in the next slide, I'll cover this. But carbon credits, you have to have a baseline for it to say that, hey, this is where the emissions are in a business as usual scenario. This is how we calculate it. Then you have to also prove that your actions are additional to what is business as usual. So additionality would mean things like regulatory and additionality, that the government does not mandate you to do these actions. You also have to show financial additionality, which is to say that, hey, if I don't get carbon revenues, then I will not be able to do this project. So carbon revenues is an essential part to my financial plans. Then you have to show that your project is permanent, that any carbon sequestration or carbon avoidance that you've done is not going to come back at a later date. For energy projects, usually that's not a problem because we've already avoided the emissions by providing clean energy to the grid. So there's no reversal risk there. And the third thing is the leakage risk. You have to show that the project does not create any leakage, which is to say that, hey, if you displace a coal power plant in this region, it's not going to just move into another region, it's continue emitting around the world. So there's a lot, I mean, that's very simply put, but there's a lot of information that's required. Also, we have to show everything on ownerships. We have to calculate financial additionality on this. We have to show common practice analysis that talks about common practice in the region and why this is above that. And of course, you have to do all the carbon estimation, all of that. For your project, if you're talking about a floating solar plant, we'll have to find the appropriate registry, the appropriate methodology for you that applies to you. Usually the process is that we have to write a project document. You have to do the project documentation. We have to submit it to the registry. There's a third-party auditor that we'll have to hire. And the third-party auditor, which is certified by the registry, is going to come in and they're going to look at the project registration. They're going to do the deep audit of the project. They're going to do site visits. And then they're going to recommend changes to the project design document, the carbon claims, etc. Or they're going to say that, hey, this is good, let's send it to the registry. And then the registry is going to have a desk review of the project. Once we complete the desk review, then your project is ready to get carbon credits issued. Carbon credits are issued for what we call a monitoring period. So it's a period of time that you are independent to choose for what time. There's usually a limit to say that, hey, you can't have a monitoring period. I mean, you at least need to do one monitoring every 5 years or so. But let's say it's every year. So, we look at how much energy you've produced, how much emissions that correlates to. Again, then we write what is called a monitoring report. We get another third-party auditor to come and look at the monitoring report, do the site visit, send it to the registry for another desk review. And if everything is good, then they issue the credits. Again, you have to pay a lot of registry fees. You have to pay the auditor fees. You have to pay fees for issuance of the credits. You have to, of course, pay the consultant fees as well. So all of that is there. Again, these are all like case by case. I'm just trying to like give a very broad view to everybody out here of how the project works. On pre-financing, usually people want, pre-financing is all about lowering risk, right? So they want to understand who the developers are, what's behind the project, what are the risks to the project, are there methodologies that will accept the project, what kind of credits and such. So yeah, again, when you talk about pre-financing, usually we have a feasibility study, we do project documentation as well, and then we start talking to buyers and such. Yeah.
Excellent. So I'm just going to say, I know Terence needs to leave right now. I think your comment, Terence, is well appreciated in the chat there. And in all humility, I would say this is the first briefing that we're doing. We know that it's a very complex topic, as I said. And then by all means, we're not saying that we get it right the first time. We definitely don't. But the idea is to do multiple briefings. We're definitely planning to do a session for developer, especially one for buyers, for service providers, so that we get you to properly understand what is the roadmap because we know it's a complex topic. So, but your feedback is well appreciated. I'm just gonna get Gunther, and I think that we need to wrap in the next 5 minutes. Yeah, but Gunther, please, yeah, jump on, please. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe I have some ideas how you could improve what you are doing. I am active as a fundraiser for startups and venture funds. And in this role, I was approached by a project developer who has a project in Burkina Faso, an agro PV project of about 50 megawatt. And he has a first plan for this, but he doesn't find no, he is the project owner. He doesn't find the right project developer. And I had another client who was financing a lot of projects of mid-size. So mid-size, he mentioned between 10 and 100 million. For those projects, it is often difficult to find the right project developers because they focus on much bigger projects. But there are a huge amount of mid-sized projects around the globe. They calculated about 50,000. And therefore, they developed a platform to help project owner to develop investment grade due diligence mainly by themselves. It is AI supported, has about 12 different places where they can improve. And then they charge only 1% for the amount that is needed and will be invested later for the project by institutional investors. The problem in this autumn, the head of the company passed away, and now they transferred the company from Portugal to Hong Kong, where one of the others is living, and to Canada. But when they go on with this project, it could be of great help for you. And I talked to a project developer to introduce him to my client. He is based in London, but he's coming from Cameroon, and he has already supported projects that are realized of about 500 million. So I would love to introduce you to all those who probably could bring their projects to your platform. The question a bit is, what is in for me? Very simple.
No.
I mean,
Okay. Yeah.
it should be a fair. I'm not a mediator who takes a lot,
Yeah.
but just
Yeah. Well,
simple question.
no, I think Gunther, I think first of all, thank you. You've been a strong supporter of renewables in Africa for many years, and I would like to publicly acknowledge you and thank you for that.
Mhm.
We'd be more than happy to talk to whoever can support the process in here, and
Mhm.
also very happy to sit down at the table and to work out what is the let's say fair share for everybody else, because at
Yeah.
the end of the day, this I think like pretty much everything we do in renewables in Africa, it's not
Mhm.
charity, it's business. That's how we make it sustainable. But we're happy to sit all around the table and see how we can make it move forward. But long story short, yeah, very very happy. So if you
Mhm.
allow me, Gunther, I think 'cause I think we need to close in a minute or so.
Mhm.
So, Clinton, is your question very quick? If yes, I can take it. Otherwise, like I say, I'm also happy to have a follow-up session. Like I say, I will send, I will leave here in the chat a
Mhm.
link for to book a meeting with me for anybody who would like to, and then we can have a further discussion on that. But Clinton, yes, we can. If hopefully you are unmuted, Clinton. Let me just see if Clinton. You can, yeah, you can speak now, Clinton.
Yeah, hello. Thank you so much, Tony. So a quick one. I know time is fast spent. I just wanted to find out, is it possible to, trade off the project outrightly to an investor? Say not finance, not that they are interested in buying carbon credits for it from it, but then say they are interested in purchasing the project outright. Is that possible? That's all I wanted to know.
Back to the project. So, but would the project be connected to some carbon credits or not at all?
Yes, exactly. So say the project. Oh, so sorry about that. So
That's fine.
say the project is an energy project to be connected directly to the grid.
Yeah.
And so obviously it's solar, so it's going to generate carbon credits.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then say, you need investment for it or you need financing for it. But then if the investor also has the option to purchase it outright and then develop it themselves, might they be interested? Aside from, them also, pumping in finance and then, developing the project together, is that option available? I don't know if you get the question.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I would say we probably at this stage we probably will want to see on a project by project basis. I can't give a generic response to that just yet
Okay.
because what we also want to be very focused on. So the platform we've built,
Mm.
is a marketplace to allow African carbon credit to be traded on the market because we believe that it's a good way to tap into climate finance, which
Okay.
a lot of projects done at the moment. And then we believe that there is a great opportunity there. So I usually, like anything, we always like to keep things simple first, address really the purpose
Yeah.
before we get into complications.
All
So
right.
I would say leave that with me, and then I
Okay.
think we could do that later. So,
Okay.
gentlemen, so I think and ladies, and I think there's people joining. So, thank you very much for joining. As I say, so we very, very tighten on schedule today. But what we promise you is to come back with further briefing. So that's because we know this is the topic that needs to be discussed a number of times. And just by the private session we've had today, we could already see everybody contributing. So obviously Terence, Gunther, Clinton, that there's so many things that we could look at here, different perspective. So definitely, Gunther, I think definitely. So maybe we may want to book a session to have a further conversation. But I'm interested by what you just discussed. Thank you as well for sharing the link in the
Wonderful.
comment. And then yeah, so
Thank you.
yeah, it's a pleasure. So obviously, thank you, Rahul. I think I don't know if you have a very last word before we wrap up, Rahul.
Yeah, thank you, Tony, and thank you, everybody. It was a lovely discussion. Hope we had more time, but look forward to the next one. And yeah, thanks.
Okay. Thank you
Okay,
very much.
bye-bye.
Bye bye, guys.